At first glance, injection molding looks simple. You cut a part shape into two halves of a steel mold, clamp them together, inject plastic, and out pops your part. Simple enough, but in reality, injection molding is much more complex. The difference between a part that looks good and a part that can actually be manufactured reliably at scale comes down to one critical step in the manufacturing process, design for manufacturing, or DFM. So today we're breaking down everything you need to know about DFM, why it matters, and the 5 key variables that we evaluate on every single project here at Crescent to ensure that we can not only produce your injection molded part once, but do so reliably and repeatably thousands or even millions of times over. So first of all, what is DFM? Well, at its core, design for manufacturing is the practice of designing not just for appearance or function, but rather for repeatable, high-quality manufacturability. And after over 75 years in the industry, it's something that we feel we've gotten pretty good at here at Crescent Industries. Essentially, we use DFM as a risk mitigation tool for highly regulated industries like medical devices, biotech, and military applications. So DFM involves your part design, your tooling, your manufacturing process, your material selection, your production environment, and even your regulatory pathway to a compliant end components. A beautiful or functional part design is great, but it's only valuable if it can be made consistently at scale without defects, delays, and excessive cost. And that's exactly what DFM is for. And when done correctly, it can lead to lower tooling costs, faster cycle times, less downtime for mold maintenance, better part consistency, and ultimately a better product with a lower total cost of ownership. Now, this all sounds lovely in theory, but what does this actually look like in practice? Well, here are the 5 core variables of DFM, and everything starts with the part geometry and mold design. Some of the key DFM questions we ask from the start of a project are things like, does the part have consistent wall thickness for uniform cooling? Are any sections too thin to fill out properly? Is proper draft angle applied for a clean ejection from the mold? And are there undercuts that require side actions, lifters, or collapsible cores? What tolerances are required for function, fit, and compliance? Every one of those answers, and many others, directly affect the mold complexity and cost, cycle time, scrap rates, and ultimately long-term part quality and the total cost of ownership for this program. Once the part design is sound, the next question is injection molding even the right process for that part? In some cases, thermoforming, blow molding, or certain additive manufacturing methods like 3D printing may be better fits depending on geometry, volume, and or budget. But for most high volume, tight tolerance plastic components, injection molding remains the gold standard, assuming the part geometry is capable of being injection molded. Now that we have a solid part design and we know that injection molding is the right manufacturing method, we then focus on optimizing cycle time, improving process repeatability, reducing manual handling through automation, especially for higher volume components, integrating post-processing and secondary operations if necessary, and leveraging quick response manufacturing work cells, or QRM, to further optimize the entire manufacturing process. Again, the goal isn't just to make a plastic part, it's to make them efficiently and consistently at scale. Next in the DFM process is material selection, which can also be more complex than you may think. During this stage, we'll evaluate the required mechanical strength of the end components, required thermal performance, chemical resistance, optical clarity requirements, regulatory compatibility, and even aesthetic requirements like color and surface finish. You can learn more about material selection specifically in this full video, but once again, there are many variables to consider here, and choosing the right material is crucial not only for the DFM process, but for overall part performance. Step 4 involves the environment your part is molded in, which can be just as important as the part itself. For industries like medical, pharmaceutical, dental, and many others, DFM often involves strict environmental and regulatory controls, such as positive pressure molding requirements, ISO-certified clean rooms with controlled humidity and air filtration systems, and this is most common in situations where your end component will be used in a sterile environment, be implanted or in contact in any way with the human body, among many other situations. And the manufacturing environment must be engineered directly into this DFM strategy. Not only does this step take the form of FDA, ISO, ITAR, or other regulatory requirements, but also requirements and tolerances set by the customer for specific applications. If a component looks the part but isn't able to meet these precise standards, then that that is not a reliable manufacturing solution. And again, that is why these variables need to be considered during the DFM process to mitigate significant delays down the line. And finally, DFM doesn't end when your part comes out of the mold. The final variable is compliance testing and validation. This includes dimensional inspection, functional testing, process validation, and full regulatory documentation. Again, depending on the part application, this may involve standards from organizations like the FDA, ISO, or ITAR, but also specific requirements set by the customer. And this step is just as, if not more important than the previous steps, since if a part looks perfect but can't consistently meet these standards, it's again not a reliable manufacturing solution. And it's at this stage when the benefits of DFM really start to show. So ultimately, why does DFM matter? Well, if done correctly, DFM is about preventing costly tooling mistakes, avoiding production bottlenecks, eliminating late-stage redesigns, and optimizing your time to market. And the earlier DFM is implemented, the more leverage you have over things like cost, quality, production speed, and long-term program success. So while injection molding may look simple from the outside, the reality is that true manufacturing success is engineered long before plastic ever enters a mold. If you'd like to learn more about Crescent's injection molding capabilities and how we guide customers through the full DFM process, feel free to reach out to us using the contact information down below to learn how we can help bring your injection molded part to life.